Hey guys, just wanted to show you what we've been working on. So this is our sawmill planer that we've had for a while, but I've always just manual fed it, just pushed it by hand, and which is fine for a slab or two, but you do that all day and it gets pretty tiring. So I've been brainstorming. I've always wanted to add like a power feed, just like a sawmill basically. And so I'm going to show you here real quick kind of what I cobbled together with just stuff I had laying around the shop. I want to refine it here a little bit, but just kind of trying out some general ideas and seeing what works and what doesn't. And so here I'm going to flip it around and show you what I got. So this is my sawmill planer. I've done a video or two on that before. 5 horsepower motor, 20-inch spiral cutter head from Grizzly. And essentially it's just an oversized router sled. We're using the tracks from a sawmill, as you can see. And we just built this carriage, and this head can roll back and forth because I'm only 20 inches wide. And I can go up to 35, 34. I need to tweak on my design a little bit, but go up around to that close to 34 inches wide. And then we have just some Acme thread rods on either side. There's a chain on top connecting the two rods, so that lowers and raises it. But like I said, you know, in the past I've just pushed it by hand back and forth, which works. It gives you a lot of freedom as far as just, you know, if you need to move the head over just a little bit or whatever, variable speed. But like I say, you do it all day long and you'll get pretty tired. So anyways, what we cobbled together, this was all out of parts I had laying around. Most of this came from, so this motor, I think it's a 1.5 horsepower motor. It's somewhere on there, but I'm pretty sure it's just a 1.5. Right there, yep, 1.5. And it's 3-phase, which I already have 3-phase here, no big deal. And I could get a VFD. For those who are familiar with that, you can control 3-phase motor speed really precise with a VFD. This is just something I had laying around also. So it's got the variable speed, but then the worm gear drive. So this sprocket is spinning pretty slow, which is what I need. This isn't a fast, you know, not a super fast. We're going from 1800 RPM on this motor to, I don't know what it is on this pulley. I should do the math. I believe this is a 41-to-1 ratio. Yep. 41 ratio, so I'm assuming it's 41-to-1. I'm not sure what that comes out to on the math, but it slows it way down, and then you do have a little bit of variable speed. I don't know. Like I said, this is all just stuff I had laying around. This came off of a molder. This was the feed motor for a molder, and just something I had laid around. Drum switch came from the same deal. I think that was maybe made to run with this motor. If you got something plugged up, you could back it out, I guess. But anyways, definitely not up to code. I just threw it together and just trying some things out, but I'm definitely want to refine it and obviously put a safety shield or whatever. This whole thing, I keep on messing with stuff and trying to refine it. I want to get eventually get like dust collection on here, just for safety and for so I don't have to clean up this mess every time I plane some lumber. But anyways, so we got 3-phase coming in. I'm pulling off to the switch so I can just sit here and run the switch back and forth. I was debating whether to put the switch on here so it would just be like a walk along and I could run, you know, run the switch back and forth. That's how it is on my sawmill. The back and forward switch is on the machine, so you just walk with it. This allows you just to stay here and run the machine back and forth without having to walk alongside it, which works. But I've also found you can you do have to be careful. You can't get too aggressive, but you can cut both directions. Now obviously when I'm going forward, you're doing a push cut, so you're pushing against the cutter head. When you're coming back, it's wanting to do they call it a climb cut, where it is wanting to self feed basically. So this rope, my feed system, is actually holding it back in to some degree, depending on, there again, how much you're taking off. But when you're cutting on the way back, it would be a climb cut, which is doable. You just have to make sure you're not getting too aggressive to overpower your feed system. We have a hackberry slab here. We've already surfaced the bottom, so it's sitting nice and flat. And I'm gonna see if I can power this thing up and show you how it works. A few things I'm not super happy with. This thing, when you shut it off, it continues to spin. There's, between all the momentum and mass there, it'll continue to spin. So you kind of gotta shut it off ahead of where you want it to stop. You kind of got to think about that a little bit. Not sure what to do about that, but I'm gonna power this thing up and show you what it does. And like I said, we're kind of just experimenting right now and seeing what works, what doesn't, what we need to change. And I think we're heading in the right direction, though. Definitely, it's nice just to be able to sit here and watch the cutter head go back and forth without having to push it, because like I say, after a while it gets pretty tiring. It does seem like it cuts a little bit better just because of the consistent feed rate. You know, when you're pushing, you don't quite get the consistent feed rate that you do when it's powered by a motor. So it seems like that does a good job of just getting a really, really nice cut. Anyways, I'm gonna quit talking here and power this thing up, and we'll see what happens. So we got this slab cleaned up. Kind of hard to see with the shadows. Still working on the roof of my sawmill shed. But we got her cleaned up, cleaned her down to about right under 2 inches. Between 1 inch and 3/4 and 2 inches. But kind of get the idea of how it works. Obviously this rope system, I really want that out of the way. Like, I don't like it next to the cutter head where that is. That's just that's asking for an accident sooner or later. On my sawmill, they ran it down here, down low, and I don't know if I can mimic something like that on the other side. But it needs to be further away from the cutter head, because it's impeding my ability to go move my cutter head the full pass, basically. Another thing I was thinking of with a VFD, I know they have braking, which would help as far as the over travel. There's all sorts of options you can do with a VFD. I do have a gearbox, 3-phase motor with just a gearbox, not the variable speed, but just the gearbox. And I'm wondering if maybe a VFD on that, I can fine tune the speed on this. I feel is basically, I've got it cranked down for the most part, cranked all the way down. So it's going about as slow as possible, which I feel is just about the right speed. And obviously you could control that with how big a pulley you're running on the motor here. That would help a little bit. But I feel like the overall concept works pretty good. I don't like the fact, like I said, if I'm cutting on the back pass, I got to go walk up there and flip it over. So I'm really not gaining anything by not having the switch, with the actual planer unit, because I'm still walking back and forth. I thought about the possibility of, you know, with a VFD you can mess with your speed a lot quicker. Like this, you got to crank on. You probably got to do it probably 10 or 15 cranks to get from low speed to high speed, which is, you know, it's not made to change speeds all the time. You know, it's something where you dial in your speed and just leave it, is what this is designed for. But I'm thinking maybe that gearbox and a motor, worm drive with a motor, would be the best fit, but we'll see. So I'm open to suggestions. You guys got ideas? Obviously, like I said, this is not OSHA approved for sure, and we're just figuring stuff out, and once we get stuff figured out, then we'll start working on all the safety features. So if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and thanks for watching.